Hello, citizens, and welcome back. It's our favourite topic. It's FFP, Man City Charges, and, well, do City fans even care about the Charges? Before we get into it, make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe as well. Let's go. So, FFP, I mean, look, there's so much talk about this at the moment. There's so much nonsense around it, and it's all we're going to hear about. It's the only thing they've got on us, really, which is funny to me because in the last few years, it's always been no Champions League, you're never going to win it. You're such a small club until you win the Champions League. Now we've won that. There's nowhere else for them to go, and all the comments I hear and all the comments I see now and get, it's all about, you've only won one Champions League title now. Nottingham Forest have more than you. You're a small club. You've only got this because of money. You've only existed since 2012. You've got no history, blah, blah, blah. It's all the same nonsense, and this FFP thing has been raging on for a couple of years. It's going to rage on for a couple more. And since the Everton thing, it's been turned up a notch, and I see so many stupid comments from people going on about City going to get relegated to the 8th division. They're going to be kicked out completely. The owners are going to leave them and all this and all that, and it's so funny. But I saw one comment, and it's an interesting one to me because the comment said, it was on Twitter somewhere, I can't remember where, it was probably an Arsenal, Liverpool fan or something, and the comment said, FFP just sums City up in general because the City fans, they think they're untouchable, they're arrogant, and they don't give a crap about anyone else but themselves. And I thought that was an interesting comment because I don't know any arrogant City fans. I don't know any City fan that, thinks that we're untouchable. It's such an interesting thing to say, and it got me thinking, are there City fans out there that are arrogant? I mean, there probably are, and I imagine all them City fans will tend to be under 25, because those of us over 30, those of us that remember the bad times, and if you've watched a couple of videos on this channel, you'll know that I am not a City fan that thinks we're going to win every game. I think we're going to get beat every game. I still have that 90s mentality in me that says City are going to screw this up somehow. And over the last few years, we haven't screwed it up, but I'm waiting for it to happen. And maybe FFP is the thing that's going to be, it's going to do it to us, and it's going to be where we have to reset and restart. But I do have that mentality, and I get it from my dad as well, because anyone that ever meets my dad will know what a doom and gloom fan he is. He has a season ticket. He goes to the games like me, and he will sit there and he will complain about every single City player. And he'll say, by halftime, he'll be whinging about De Bruyne selling him. He'll whinge about Haaland being useless. And he just wants every City player out. And that's what he's like every single game. And I'm not that extreme, but I will say that I am not one of these City fans that thinks we're going to turn up and win every game. It doesn't matter who we play. I expect us to lose. And it kind of goes two ways, doesn't it? That because it kind of sets you off what kind of area you grew up in as a City fan and where you were from. Because I think those of us from Manchester as well that are City fans from the 90s and 80s, it was pretty rough around here. There wasn't many of us, I'm not going to lie. I didn't know many City fans growing up. I mean, there's not even that many in the family, really. So, you do have this kind of mentality where you get a bit defensive about it. But to call us arrogant right now is an interesting one. And you got to look at FFP, and I've said it numerous times, FFP is a joke. It is an absolute farce. The fact that everyone get deducted 10 points for breaking rules. Yeah, if they went into administration, they'd get fined less points. It's absurd. Profit and sustainability. That's a joke as well, because FFP allows clubs to go to lose money, but you can only lose a certain amount of money. What business do you know where you're allowed to lose money every single year? But football lets them do that. Football lets clubs lose money every single year, as long as it's not too much. It's a joke. It's a farce. And again, to call it profit sustainability when that's all it's about. It's just about maintaining sustainability for the bigger clubs at the top of the league. That's all it is. It's about sustaining the status quo, not changing things, keeping the big clubs big, keeping the smaller clubs small. Yes, teams like Leicester can win the league every now and then and it'd be a big success story. But all that's going to do is give this massive PR boost to the Premier League themselves and to the English football in general. And it's not going to make Leicester go on sky high and start winning Champions Leagues and everything like that. But they won the league, so fair play to them. And look, the Premier League got this big boost out of it and everyone's watching it again and it's exciting again. It's nonsense, FFP. Absolute nonsense is to keep clubs where they are. And all you have to do is look at the EFL and their financial rules. They let owners buy clubs for £1. They let clubs like Bury, who have existed for over 100 years, go completely under because of poor ownership. They don't give a crap about sustaining anything. And that's one of the frustrating things about FFP as well. And watching all these Great Manchester clubs go under, it's bad in general for the sport, and it's bad for England as well, and it's bad for the Premier League letting this happen, because they're going to be fining every single club points. They're going to be deducting points everywhere. They're going to be throwing out fines for fun. They're looking into this club, they're looking into that club. But the big news is Man City 116 charges, or whatever it is that they threw. I think it was 115, wasn't it? And some of them are absolutely ridiculous, and they're just trying to throw it in there. And one of the things about this FFP charge as well is that it came out at a time when the Premier League were about to be, well, they had to tell the government that they could run this league. The FA could run it, the Premier League, or whoever bloody does. I don't even know anymore who runs this league. It's an absolute farce, the whole organisation. But they were told that unless they could sort it out themselves, that the government were going to hire an independent company to do it. And it's so funny that these charges came out like the morning before that hearing was meant to be heard. Meant to happen as well, and the Premier League are now looking to, set standards by deducting Everton these points. You can target City with this many points now and deduct them 1,000 points and kick them out the league. Absolute farce. And in truth, I don't particularly care about the charges. I don't. And there's a couple of reasons why I don't care. Again, for anyone old enough, like 30s plus, I have been lucky enough to see my football team in its worst ever period of its history. But I've also seen my football team in its best period ever. So the worst and the best period in my lifetime. Not too many people can say that about their football club. And I find it so funny that people call me arrogant for me not caring that we're charged with these FFP charges. I find it so hilarious that people would say that that it's shocking that I don't care, that I just don't care about English football in general, and I don't care what it does to the other teams. I just don't care about them. And the reason I don't care about them is because, like I said, I've seen my team from the downs, I've seen them ups, I've seen us have managers for days before leaving. I've saw Steve Coppell come in and leave before even managing a game. I've seen us go through multiple owners. I've seen us nearly go under several times. I went to Main Road through the divisions. My first ever game on my own was at Main Road. It was 15 or 16. It was against Watford. Or was it against Norwich? I think it might be against Norwich, actually. We won 2-0. Berkovic scored. He took the ball from the halfway line, run up the pitch and scored, and the announcer called it out as Huckabee's goal. I can't remember who it was against, Watford or Norwich. I think it was Norwich. I was sat in the Gene Kelly stand in the rain, hammering it down in Manchester. That was my first ever game on my own at Main Road. So I've seen us through the leagues. I've seen us do well. I've seen us do poorly. And whatever these owners have given us in the last 12, 10, 15, whatever it is years, it's been a ride. It's been an absolute ride. And even though sometimes we have screwed it up, sometimes we let the Champions League get away with us, like that one against Chelsea, with Pep making some poor decisions in his team lineup. Even though I've seen moments like that, I've seen us win the Premier League on the last day numerous times. Too many to count, really, to be honest. I've seen us get 100 points with the last kick of the season. I've seen us win the treble. I've seen us win the Carabao Cup 4 times in a row. There's still people call it small, and they call us arrogant. Anyone that says that competition is small, like United, like Liverpool, like Chelsea, anyone is arrogant, because it's a trophy at the end of the day. It's a major trophy, and it does help you get into Europe, and it does breed more confidence. Success breeds success. And calling that cup is arrogant. I've seen United fans complain about finishing 8th and calling it doom and gloom, and start bringing out the Norwich scarves and the Norwich kits for finishing 8th. They've not even seen their team finish in the bottom half of the table. They've not seen their team relegate. They've not seen their team struggle to pay the players. All these other teams struggling the way we struggled for years, the way we made fun of for years, and people call us arrogant. And another thing I don't care about, really, about these charges, is that these owners aren't going anywhere. People, when they came in, people said they're only going to be there for a few years. Then they're going to say, then you'll go under, then you'll lose all this money, then you'll lose all your success. They're not going anywhere. They're building a hotel at the stadium. They're increasing the capacity of a stadium that we don't even fill. They couldn't care less. The amount of money they pumped into that club, into the local area, is ridiculous. They have 12 clubs now, I think it is, they own. They're not going anywhere. Yes, it's a status symbol for them more than a money maker, but they're not going anywhere. No matter what league we're in, they're going to be there. So we'll just climb the table again. We'll just climb the leagues. And even if we don't, who cares? I get to see Rotherham again. I get to see, I remember going to Mansfield. I went away to Mansfield for a game, and that's an absolute terrible place. I don't want to wish on my worst enemy, to be honest. I've been to so many different kind of places, and I've been to so many games, and it's not arrogance. It's just a case of, I don't care because I've been there and I've done it. The club's been there and the club's done it. And I look forward to whatever the club throws at me. Yes, I'm on here and I'm all doom and gloom. And yes, I expect us to get beat by Liverpool at the weekend. I do. I expect us to get beat. I think we'll get beat. Well, I'll do that in another video. Yes, I expect us to get beat whenever we play Luton this season. I'm going to expect us to get beat. I just expect us to screw it up. But it's all fun and games, and I've enjoyed the ride, and wherever it takes us, whatever happens, who cares? And these FFP charges are just another obstacle in the way. When the club was bought, when Khaldoon did his first interview as chairman, or one of his first interviews, and he said that we're going to change the way football's done financially, and people are going to hate us for it, and people are going to accuse us of cheating. But it doesn't matter, because they're going to copy us. Well, they're copying us on the pitch with the way they play football. I was walking through the park. I live in Salford, not far from Old Trafford. I was walking through the park, and there was a match on yesterday, and there was a team out there in one of these fluorescent yellow kits, just a team playing on a Wednesday against another team. God knows what division they're in or how old they were. But their goalkeeper was playing out from the back. Their goalkeeper did a Rabona as he was being closed down by the one of the strikers. It's crazy, and they've got like 4 people watching them, and they're all parents. So we've changed the way football is played throughout the entire pyramid of the English game, from the women's football, the men's, the kids. It doesn't matter. Everyone's trying to play like Pep's team. Everyone's trying to play like City. We've done that. We've set the standard for what football is on the pitch. We've also set the standard off it as well. All our assistant managers that Pep keeps losing to other teams, all our backroom staff that we keep losing to other teams in higher positions. You look at our youth teams, they're doing incredible things. And this is all because of the owners. This is all because of the way we conduct ourselves on that pitch and off it as well. So yes, we have 115 FFP charges against us. Who cares? It's just an obstacle again. It's just a way for them to stop us from doing what we're doing. But it ain't going to stop us. It might slow us down. It might. But I'll tell you what, I back this ownership anywhere, because they've not really let us down. Yes, they joined the Super League. I think they did it reluctantly, to be honest with you. But we're the first ones to pull out as well. And once we did, the whole lot went, again, because we set the standards. Arguably, we shouldn't have been in it anyway, and they really shouldn't have folded. But I understand why they did it. So yeah, we're the team to beat, and everyone is scared of it. So it's not arrogance. It's not me being arrogant or, just not caring about other teams or anything like that. It's just a case of, I have complete faith in the ownership, in our management team, to some degree the players as well, even though I think we're going to get beat. I just have full faith that everything's just going to turn out fine. And no matter what league we're in, I know I'm going to go watch them, because I always have done. I know I'm going to support them because I always have done. Again, some would say I went kicking and screaming in the 90s sometimes, but it's been a ride. So yeah, I can accept all these rival fans complaining about us and calling us small, and saying we've only won the Champions League once, and that Nottingham Forest are more successful than us, and that we have no history. Well, just to bring it in, I'm pretty sure in like 1906 or 1908, we were done for breaking financial fair play rules. It wasn't called FFP back then, but we broke the wage rules that we had around the club, because I think we were paying players more than £1 a week, and I think all our team went to United at that point, and that's when they started winning things. So yeah, nothing new, just trying to stop little old City, trying to stop the noisy neighbours, but it won't stop us, and that's what I believe. So yeah, do City fans care about the FFP charges? I'm sure some of them do. I'm sure there are arrogant fans out there, but I don't think there'll be anyone over 30. I think they'll just be confident that we're doing the right things. And yeah, that's about it, really. Let me know in the comments. If you care, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what kind of comments you've been seeing as well from rival fans, because like I said, it's absolutely everywhere at the moment. And I even saw one fan channel earlier on going on about how they feel sorry for the fans because they've done nothing wrong. They're just supporting their team and that the owners have let them down, that the owners have disgraced the club. What are they talking about? The owners haven't let us down. You could build statues about any of the players for us at this point in time. You know, we seem to have a statue being made every year of a different player. Our last 10 years have been absolutely incredible. And yes, you can go on about us having no history, but that just takes away from all the good work that they've actually done in the last 12 years or so. He said 12 years, whatever it is, however long they've been there. It just takes away all the hard work that they've done. That's all it does. Because before that, we were in absolute shambles. We were. Look at the manager we had. We had good times on the Royal. We had good times on the Keegan. He tailed off towards the end for him. Sven was a disaster. I mean, I don't really have any good memories about Sven. Pearce as well. I mean, Stuart Pearce, I think we won one home game in like a year. Oh, shocking it was under him as well. And then we had Shinawatra as an owner. Bloody hell, we've had some shockers, us. So yeah, it just takes away all the hard work that the ownership have done under us and all the good things they've done, because people are just quick to throw away, the money they've spent and the things we've done and the way we've changed football, the way we loan players out now. We do hold the youth players, and it's so funny just watching them try and grasp at straws. First it was, you haven't won the Premier League 3 times in a row. Then it wasn't, you haven't won the Champions League. And I bet you, if we'd won the Champions League last year, they'd be throwing at us, you haven't won the treble. All that money, you haven't won the treble. Well, we've done everything now. There's nothing left to do. So what are they grasping on? They're grasping on 115 charges, 1,000 points to be deducted. City are not going to be a team. They want to bring in a salary cap because of us now. They're absolutely scared of everything we're doing. And that's another video that I want to make as well. Should we have a salary cap in football? No. Stupid. Because unless you bring in a salary cap for the whole of football, unless you bring in a salary cap for every league, it's not going to work, is it? Because you bring a salary cap in for the Premier League. Oh, salary cap, this will stop City. No, it won't. We'll still get the better players than anyone else in England. We'll just do it better than you. Bro, a salary cap wouldn't work unless it's spread out across the whole of football, because then you're going to let the Italian league, the Spanish leagues, the French leagues, any league get better than the Premier League. And the Premier League's just going to drop in value, it's going to drop in viewership, and all the best players are not going to come here because of a salary cap. What the Premier League are doing now is no different than what Italy did in the 90s. Italy had the best league in the 90s. They did. Anyone that remembers watching the Italian football on Channel 4, I remember it. The Italians were a joke. Just go back and look at some of their squads. Absolute joke the way they were holding players. Then Real Madrid and Barcelona started doing it in the early 2000s. Real Madrid in particular building the Galacticos, or whatever the bloody Galacticos. That's what they're called, aren't they? With Beckham, Zidane, and Roberto Carlos, and Ronaldo, and all them. They broke football. Real Madrid were the ones that did it. And then we try and come along, and we take our time doing it. We, get the right management team in place, and we get the right players, and we don't even go out and break the bank for players. How many times have you seen City say no to buying players? How many times have you seen City, refuse to buy? How many times did we turn Leicester down for Mahrez? We said no to the money they were asking for him, like 3 times, I think it was. Everyone forgets that we said no to Maguire. We tried to buy Maguire. Leicester wanted 80 million. We laughed at it. Let United get him. Sanchez from Arsenal. He would have been a good player at us. But we said no to that. So yes, we have our standards. We have our set values for players. And we let our youth players like Palmer go for so little. I would have sold him for double what we let Chelsea get him for. And Sterling as well. I would have even got more money for him. I'm telling you now, I would not have sold him for as little as we did to Chelsea. Even though I thought it was time he should go, and I wanted him gone at that point. But people forget that we do have put in place these systems to help us get the best value for players coming in and going out. Yes, we get it wrong. Everyone gets it wrong. Every club makes poor transfers in and out. But we are not going out there and destroying football by paying £200 million for players like PSG. We're not going out there and paying £1 million a week for players like PSG, like Saudi Arabia doing right now. We're not doing any of that. All we've done is say we spent more than the Premier League wants us to spend, because they don't want us to have a monopoly on the game, because we've come and interrupted what they were doing and whatever deals they had in place with other teams. So, yeah. It's one of those, people just have short-term memories, and yeah, whatever rules we've broken, I just don't particularly care, to be honest. And again, it doesn't come down to arrogance. It's just, I'll just watch the team, whatever league they're in. I'm not that bothered. I'm really not. I've got a season ticket. I sometimes go to the games. I'm still going to go, whatever league we're in. And it'd probably be more fun because right now you go to the Etihad and you watch United, you watch Chelsea, you watch Arsenal, put 11 players behind the ball and time waits for the full 90 minutes. It's so dull and boring. Teams are crap. And yeah. And another thing, this financial fair play thing, I've said it numerous times as well, and this will be the last thing, that it does such a disservice to the players on the pitch, because how good do these players, do on the pitch? How brilliant are they on the ball? Players like Foden, like Rico Lewis as well, coming for the youth teams, who are going to improve England. These players are going to carry England for the next 5-10 years. And you look at players like De Bruyne as well, and Edison and Haaland, and it does such a disservice to what they've achieved on that pitch for us. And players like David Silva and Aguero and company, it does such a massive disservice to just what leaders they were and what legends they are for us. If you go on about financial fair play and that it means nothing, just thrown away like that, it means nothing. I'll tell you what, I'd happily break 115 charges a season if it stopped Liverpool winning anything. That's just my take on it, though. But yeah, at least United fans cheered for us a few years, eh? Anyway, that's it. So, City fans, do you care about FFP? And I've just noticed it's got player ratings on the thing. Oh, well, who cares? No, I don't. But yeah, that's it. That's just my little take. Hopefully my last video on it. Well, it won't be the last video on FFP, because at some point we're going to get charged. We're going to have 1 million points deducted, whatever it is. I hope it's just a fine, because we'll just laugh at that one. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking it out. Make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and yeah, thank you very much. Bye-bye.